Check, check. There we go. Welcome everybody to the Potomac Curling Club's final showdown at the Glitter Bombspiel, the first LGBT Bombspiel in the United States. We're playing for all the glitter, but not on the ice, because glitter would wreck the ice. Bit ironic, that actually. And if you haven't ever watched curling, or you've never been to a final on Sunday, what you're seeing now is the Piper and the procession down the ice of all the teams that are playing in the final on all 4 sheets. We will be bringing you live coverage of Sheet B, which will be a Nice Pair versus Team Fry. You see the Piper and all of the teams lined up having a pretty good time. Now we're going to see the ceremonial toast that accompanies every final match in curling. And if you're wondering what that is, pay attention.
The people who have come so far to be with us here, and I am I'm humbled that you guys are all here. Do you want to and the Piper?
This is a new job for me.
So, thank you for helping me to make this a fabulous weekend. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. And best of luck, and to the Piper.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, so if you saw them just toast there, they all have to drink some Drambuie, which is Scottish for awful liquor that nobody likes. But all curlers have to drink it, even the children. All right, so let's give you the starting lineups of the 2 teams here. Nice Pair, which will be throwing the red rocks, is, you'll see, these are the famous people. So I'll give you the full list of the team. Some curling teams have 5 members, some have 4. The 5th is sort of like a sub or utility player, depending on the situation. But since they're in the final, let's give them all a mention. So it's going to be Britt O'Neill, Debbie McCormick, Erin Flowers, Courtney Shaw, and Laura Yee. And then facing off against them, Team Fry is the aforementioned Michael Fry of Team Fry, Michael Campbell, Paul Trimber, and Mary McHugh. So this is actually, if you know some of these players, this is a pretty good showdown between some really good players. So contrary to what you might expect, this is going to likely be some pretty good curling. Or it might not. I mean, who knows? They had a pretty good night last night. If you're new to this and you're watching what they're doing, they're wasting time, otherwise known as practicing sliding out. But it's how they get a feel for the ice and show off to the other sheets and say things to each other about the condition of the ice that they really have no idea and cannot prove until much later when they throw some rocks. By the way, I'm your host, Chip, of the Potomac Curling Club and Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network. You should tune in every Thursday night, 9:30, ripradionetwork.com.
Mr. Chip is going to be joined by the lovely operator, Mr. Dobbs.
Oh, wow.
Whose microphone was too hot for a moment.
Yeah. That's a common thing that you say about Dobbs. It's too hot.
Only when I sliced my thumb open.
Yeah, I heard about that. How you feeling?
Oh, much better.
I heard it was a good, clean cut.
Pretty good clean.
Any stitches?
Oh, 4.
4 stitches.
Yeah, you want to
Nice.
see?
Yeah, let me see.
Well, I'll show you the video later.
Okay. I got 12 in my hand across 2 fingers, actually.
Woo! That's a
Yeah,
good one.
That was a razor knife at the hardware store.
Well, the funny thing is, the knife I used was brand new.
Right. Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
decided, hey, we finally need a sharp knife in this club to cut
That was
lines.
actually Courtney Shaw, who's on the ice on Nice Pair, who bought the knife.
Absolutely. I can tell you it's a very sharp knife.
Yeah. Amongst the people that Courtney has tried to injure over the years at the curling club, Dobbs is now, luckily, the most triumphant, I think.
At least for now, I'm the most injured by that knife.
Yeah, that's true. She's sort of notorious for her knife work.
Well,
Not so much the curling.
We are lucky enough to have some wireless skips mics here at Potomac Curling Club. So we will be bringing you the skips mic from Debbie McCormick, skip for Nice Pair.
So you get to hear all of their inane chatter as they're deciding the shots and making decisions and making calls and commenting on each other's outfits and whatever else curlers do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good to see you at noon. Congratulations.
You also pick up a bunch of background stuff, I think.
Oh, of course.
And because only she's mic'd, you're going to get one side of her conversation if she's talking to anybody else. So that's usually pretty fun. All right, so basically what's happened so far is red threw a pretty decent center guard, a little off the center line. And yellow looks to be throwing the guard themselves. If you are new to curling, which I expect none of you are, guards are rocks that get in the way, essentially, but on purpose, except when they're not supposed to be, and they're just lucky accidents.
Or sometimes they're stones you curse.
Yeah.
You really don't want that guard.
Speaking of cursing, that's a big part of curling, and I bet with these skips mics, we're gonna pick up a little bit of that.
Please.
Certainly not from the booth.
Mrs. McCormick is a professional.
That's true. She is, actually, unlike the rest of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. So she's a professional cusser.
Oh.
Sorry, that's curler.
You, Mr. Chip, you are going to get me in so much trouble.
I don't think so. FCC hasn't any jurisdiction over this.
You're really going to get me in trouble with me.
Yeah, right.
So
'cause you lifted your own band. That was your mistake. All right, so it looks like they threw this rock with the intent to run the guard or tap it up. I don't know what they thought they were going to do there.
I think they were just trying to draw, and it wound up a little heavy.
Shanko.
Very heavy.
Yeah.
I'd actually rather just not have it there.
So now they're kibitzing about how they're glad that the rock's not there at all. So that seems.
Well, unfortunately, it was a free guard zone violation because they didn't take out the guard. So the rule says it goes back.
It goes back, and that's actually expanding soon, isn't it?
Depends on which field you're going to. They are still experimenting with the 5-rock rule, but I believe next year the World Curling Federation is adopting the 5-rock free guard zone.
Otherwise known as everybody hates chip, because my whole utility in curling is as a second is murdering other stones. And
that just means you have to have the hammer.
Yeah, it's true, right. When I only get to murder one stone.
Exactly.
Instead of 2. So Le Whack is being Le sidelined.
You'll just have to get better and be a vice.
It seems unlikely.
Being a vice or getting better?
Either one. Contrary to what it looks like, Dobbs, I'm actually trying when I'm out there. I'm just bad at this.
Aww.
Yeah. All right, so this rock, they're trying to get through this little gap here, but it's curling quite a lot, actually. They got to get it around the guard. It looks like it might run the guard. Yeah, it's going to take.
They've wrecked.
All right, so now we've built the Great Wall of Crap. And the trick is going to be to see who can either tap one of those on or get around them, try to score a point. Although at this level, they might try to blanket it if they can get away with it.
At this point, you can't blanket. Somebody's going to get in the house.
With that much in play.
Exactly.
It seems like.
Wait on lane.
They have this one around the guard.
Yeah, but it looks pretty heavy.
Okay. Good shot.
Oh, is it going to settle?
It is out of the house.
Could have used a little pocket sand. It would have helped.
But that's illegal.
At the end.
Well, pocket glitter for this field.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's a bit odd that we named a spiel after something that would destroy our ice.
You will note that on our registration form was a asterisk next to the word
Says,
glitter.
Please don't bring any actual glitter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just your glittering personalities.
Aw, well done, Mr. Chip. This one gets around the guard.
But it also looks like it's kind of heavy. It might stick around. Oh, right to the button.
Very nice. That's why we're in the booth and they're in the A event final.
Yeah. That's the easiest shot in curling. Just draw the button. Like no big deal. Just draw the button. All right, what's the strategy look like here? What you can see is the skip, she's sort of looking
What am I this way? This way,
at
am I
things
tapped
from a
it in?
different point of
Peel.
view.
Well, Debbie McCormick does not have the hammer here.
No. She's calling a peel. She's trying to open up the house so that she can go after those rocks that are back there. Or that one rock that's back there. So that is full badger weight.
Yep.
Full badger weight.
Yeah.
Yep. Stay
That's a
on
new
it.
one to me.
No, that's part of the rules. So of the various weights one can throw, there's bunnies,
Nice
or
shot.
fluffy bunnies, which are guards.
Of course.
There's like a kitten, which is like a draw, but like a high draw, you know, solid kitten.
Pro miss is a guard.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then there's a beaver, which is, you know, very appropriate for this field, but also, you know, is a little more fierce than the kitten. And then there's a full badger weight.
Full badger weight.
Yeah,
Okay.
just angry.
Rock that's designed to do something to other rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Like that time that Homer thought that it was just Millhouse in the doghouse, but it turned out it was really a badger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting that in context for me.
Those are the technical terms. Feel free to use them if you want.
Trademark?
No, under license, sure.
Okay.
You can have,
Creative Commons.
yeah. Free of charge.
Peel.
We thank you for your generosity.
Right. So they're going to peel these guards. They just want to like get the house open. Initially, it looked like that rock that's sitting on the button. It's pretty well protected, but it seems to be coming to a fast end.
Oh, yeah.
Close.
Debbie definitely wants to clear that out.
Yep. Yep.
If she knew the ice a little better, she might try the freeze on the button to limit them to one and force one.
Might be tough in the first end, too.
Exactly. You're not sure of the ice, just clear it out.
Right. Debbie actually pays attention to things like that, what with being a professional curler. I keep getting that wrong. It says it right here in front of me. I'm not a good reader. What can I say?
You're good.
Note to self, stick to your
We're
rules.
getting there.
It's not going to get us in any trouble. You're okay.
Fortunately, there's only 5 people watching.
Hey, what's up, five
I was talking
people?
with Bruce last night. He said like this side of the sheet going, especially towards the glass, is just very straight. When it kind of falls. I think in general it's just a little straighter than.
Would it be unethical for them to be listening in on the broadcast to hear the other skip?
Yes, it would.
That would make them the New England Patriots.
You got it.
Or the Yankees and Red Sox, apparently both with their iPhones and everything. Remember when you didn't cheat at sports?
Yep.
In middle school?
Certainly nobody in Boston has ever played a fair game of anything. I think that's like categorically true. Anybody who's listening from Boston, you can come to the club and fight me about that.
Well, as we look at the ice here, yellow is sitting 2 with 1 on the button and 1 in the back of the forefoot.
Control down kind of in the spot.
It looks like, so they're going to try to hit this, but I think they're going to try to hit and stick, aren't they?
To control.
I would expect them to.
Button.
Try to get it maybe just to the right of the nose
Flop over a little bit.
and flop over behind that guard.
Set up a jam.
Oh, if they got all the way
We're
over, then
thinking,
that'd be even
board,
further.
but
Exactly.
This is a new track, so
I'm not sure about
we're thinking like a
whether
10,
it'll
like
curl that much.
yeah.
If you hear them talking about these numbers, they're talking about times of how fast they're going to release or how fast they're going to slide out. There's no conclusive evidence that that means anything. So you're much better using the
At the club level? No.
well, the bunny kitten
Ah.
system is much more precise.
It just depends if you're a flow player or a time player.
They're going to wreck.
Oh, they got around.
Just got around and got right to it.
Great sweep.
That's a great shot.
It's the broom.
That was a great shot. All right, so now red is sitting one.
I'm like, she be close.
That was like, did it rub the guard? According to the peanut gallery, it rubbed the guard
These guys?
and it got through. I don't know. It looked paper thin to me.
You Canadians.
Yeah, Canadians.
Yeah.
You may notice if you're watching, you can see some of the activity on some of the other sheets. So Sunday finals is a day that people tend to wear more colorful stuff, you could say. Or
It is the glitter Bombspiel. We've seen a lot of colors.
At this spiel, actually, in some cases that means less stuff.
I go to Aaron's.
Got that right.
Yeah.
At home.
I don't know if we can pan the camera over to A at some point and see one of the Tobin teams.
Unfortunately, we're revamping our system, so we can't pan the cameras yet.
Oh, Dobbs.
I know.
All right, so they look to try to follow that down. It looks like they got around the guard, and they got right to it.
That's a perfect
That's a
shot.
really good shot, too.
Well, also we have to go for the back one, eh? Like, yeah. Same kind of weight. Can you go for the back one? If you can roll a little Dolores side, that'd be great.
All right, so it looks like they're going to basically follow that and go for the same bit, try to curl up onto it and just shove it out of there.
Definitely a hit weight here. The perfect shot is they hit the yellow rock and roll right behind the yellow at the top of the floor.
Yeah. For the sweep, that thing is moving. Thing is really moving. It got just across the nose. Oh,
And they're going to catch the top one.
Yep.
Okay, good sweep.
Not able to hold it. It was curling too.
Early
Ooh.
there.
And unfortunately, it's going to open up a hit for 4 if Mr. Fry wants it.
Yep. And if there's anything people know about Fry, it's that he's a ruthless curler.
Please. You know, I don't even think he sees it. He's just looking at the draw for 2.
He's just trying to draw for 2. No, he's got to see it. And maybe it's more covered up than it looks from back here.
From here, it looks almost completely open. Yeah, you have to go
Got
inside
this
out.
port,
and it's
he
not a
just-
huge port, but
Yeah.
if
And
it were
you're
me,
right-handed,
I'd try it because it's for 4.
right. Worst case scenario, if you flash, you get a 1 anyway. You got to throw pretty hard at it to get through that hole. He's not
Absolutely.
even going to try. He's just going to draw, take the safe play.
All right. Presumably, Mr. Fry knows what he's doing. And given the evidence, yes, he does.
78.
I don't know.
He's playing in the A final.
Yeah, but he chooses his friends poorly. Like me,
What?
for example. I wouldn't be friends with me. That seems like a
All
bad
right.
idea.
All right. Sweepers are really going at it.
Yeah, I think he thinks it's light. They got
It is a little light.
They got to get it to the 4. It's got to touch 4. Oh, and it just
It does.
Hard
Just
fought
barely.
2. He could have had 4, but he went for the 2, and he made it. Just made it.
You know, there was a risk if you went for the 4 of just getting 1.
Yep.
You don't want to do that with a hammer.
Especially not against an Olympian. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Take your 2, be happy.
What's our audience think of everything? Where's our comments? You guys got anything to say?
Mr. TJ Kasser
Oh, that
has
guy?
That guy, yep. Has definitely agreed with us that there have been some interesting outfits this weekend.
Yeah. TJ is also somebody who makes questionable friend choices. All right, so this looks like the standard first shot center guard type. Sweeper seemed a little concerned that it might not have the weight, so they were kind of on it, but it looks like it's going to settle in right about where you'd want it to. Right to the center. That's a great shot. Hard to beat that.
High drop.
So they're going to try to get right behind it. You see a lot of leads throwing draws this field. Has that been a thing?
I do it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, have we seen a lot of it this field? Is there something about the ice that's more conducive to it than playing a corner game, or?
You know, it all depends on your team and your opponent.
That's good. It's good on its own, I think.
A lot of times, you know, your opponent throws up a guard, just beat them behind it.
Right.
Have your lead draw behind their guard.
Sit. Sit.
Pocket sand. Fry is sweeping away the pocket sand.
Shot rock.
And the rock is technically in play.
It is technically shot rock.
This is a rock that we call a Marv Albert.
I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because it's a backbiter.
I feel like that should be very funny, but I don't know why.
Marv Albert famously got in trouble for having odd bedroom preferences that involved biting, and specifically the back. And so he had to pretend that he was sorry for a while and not be on TV or radio, and then he got his jobs back. So he's almost as good a sportscaster as me, but he's also now famously a backbiter. So it's the Marv Albert.
I think I'll just keep calling it a backbiter.
It's funnier. That one you got to pay for.
You're not generous anymore?
Not with that. That's something I wrote. You know,
You got to keep a few of them?
the bunny badger scale is just an empirically true thing, so I can't exactly trademark that.
Can't trademark nature?
No.
Okay.
I tried. That squirrel won the lawsuit, so
Line's good.
he was
He
nuts.
must have been having a bad day. Or was a really good squirrel.
He was nuts.
Take a look.
Good squirrel.
Yep, for line.
Nothing enough
Yep,
to
for
win.
line. Yep. Yep, line's great. Yep. Yep. All the way to
Well, he went and got one of those
Great sweep.
lawyers from
Very nice, Laura.
the Acorn CLU. And they were very clever.
That's sweet.
Tough shell on the outside, but inside, good lord.
They got a sweetness to them?
A little acrid, but yeah, afterwards.
Okay.
Like most lawyers. A little acrid. This rock appears to be doing whatever the hell it feels like. Trying to get in the port, maybe wick off of that guard.
That's around the guard.
Had perfect weight and nudged the opponent right out, but it's not covered up, so they're just going to throw the whack.
Absolutely. I'm not sure which biter is closer. There are 3 rocks biting the 12-foot circle. 2 yellow in front and a red in the back. We'll have to wait for Ms. McCormick to get out of the way before we can see who's closer.
All right, looks like they think she's a little wide. They're waiting to see if it'll curl up.
Probably going to wind up clearing their own guard here.
No, I think it's going to get
through.
And it flopped under. That turned out to be a really nice shot.
Very nice.
After the sort of panicked chatter.
They absolutely need it because that red in the back, at the back of the house, is not as close as the 2 yellows in the front of the house.
No. Poor Marv. Having a tough time. All right, so they looks like they're throwing pretty similar to the last rock that they threw, although this seems like it's curling a bit more. As long as it clears the guard, then I think they're just going to try to sit down and tap it out. But it's still exposed.
They've basically just reset the game by 2 rocks. It's like, oh, you think I was up? No, you didn't.
But now they can't come at it the same way because it's a little too close to that guard to be able to get around and flop under.
Very true.
They have to come with the other handle.
Team Nice Pair deciding to come the other way.
At the LGBT Bombspiel, that's funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Very intentional dots.
Okay, whoa. Go for the other one. That's fine.
Looks like it's going to crash the guard.
Plan B.
Not bad.
This was a decent option. Clear the guard, make him put it back.
If you're going to make a mistake, that was the way to do it. And their shot rock now is very, very exposed. So Fry's going to try to cover it up, I think.
Absolutely.
Fry's giving him a lot of ice.
The ice here is pretty swingy this spiel.
Yeah.
I was generally getting 4.5, 5 feet of curl on my draws.
Well, you know, it don't curl a thing if it ain't got that swing.
You mean if it ain't got that handle?
Well, that too. Hey, however you handle things, Dobbs, is up to you. But
it's all about how much spin you put on it.
Right. It's funny because we're in Washington.
Not what I was thinking in particular at that moment.
Dobbs is the Kellyanne Conway of curl.
I'm insulted.
Why? She's on TV all the time, so are you.
I would still, no.
Oh, you're insulted by that?
Yes, I'm insulted by that.
That's good. I'll keep that in my pocket.
Okay. Yep. Yes. Yep.
All right, so they threw this one pretty stiff at it. I think they're hoping to really move some stuff around, but ended up knocking their own Marv Albert out.
Yikes.
Yellow's sitting pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm. Yellow without hammer could be sitting 4.
And if they can keep just hitting and forcing them to chase and remove, it may end up being able to hold them to 1 or even steal them. All right, so this looks like it over-curled a bit. And it still managed to make contact, so that was lucky.
Gets a little tick. Does manage to push the red all the way out of the house, but their own rock also goes out.
It's enough to remove it, and that's kind of the important thing. But now the shot rock is vulnerable. Here comes Le Whack.
Hey, whoa.
That's got a lot of weight.
Just do it different.
Yeah,
Good takeout.
Just for a hit.
Does not curl enough.
Didn't curl. I think she threw it too heavy. 'Cause it didn't curl up as much as they were expecting.
Could have been a little wide too.
Right. But either way, does the job, removes the rock, leaving yellow still sitting 2 with 1 zombie rock over there in the corner. You want to tell the people about the zombie rock?
I think you have a more colorful way of putting it.
So it's not scoring, and it's not dead, but it's not useful.
It was useful at one point.
It was, and now it's kind of dead.
Yep.
So it's undead.
But not dead.
Right. It's dead, but not dead.
Exactly.
So it's a zombie.
Exactly.
Like they're throwing a lot of like down hits. Like I don't know. It's kind of saving them from sticking around. Like I don't know if they should do that. I mean, not with Laura because Laura's curls so much, and I think it's gonna be really hard for Courtney because she likes to throw bombs.
You heard it
So-
from Debbie McCormick herself. Courtney likes to throw bombs. So it looks like Fry's just trying to draw in, get under a cover if he can.
No reason for him to do anything else right now.
Looks a little light.
The sleepers are staying off of it.
Yeah, it's finishing okay.
It's going to wind up a little
A
deeper
little
than
deep
they wanted.
actually. It kind of glided a little bit. Still open, but it's in the back, so it kind of doesn't matter right now.
Well, unfortunately, it does matter. Debbie's going to come down and probably freeze to it, and Debbie can wind up shot with backing,
Right.
make it very difficult to be removed, and give herself a chance for 2. Now, of course, these will be in the back of the house, so
Right, that's
Mr.
the
Fry
thing.
can just draw right down to it again.
Exactly. So, and it's deep enough that even if freeze onto it, it's not protected.
Because we have backing.
You know, in
to
regards to
speak
the
so-
T line very much. So it'd still be easy to sit on it.
Oh, yeah. If Debbie draws to the back of the house here, the worst case scenario is Michael Fry draws to it, and then she's got an open draw to the 4 foot. That is
Right.
just fine.
But if they stack up, he might actually be able to out counter unless she sits on it.
Oh,
So-
no. Only 3 rocks left. It's not enough stack to give it.
It's pretty far back there.
Gotta be 8 foot.
So here it comes. Looks like they think it's a little heavy. They're laying right off it.
They really needed to choke up a bit.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
that did not work out for the Olympian.
Oh, yikes.
All right, so now it looks like
That's okay. I mean,
yellow's sitting
couldn't
2,
do much
maybe
with it. It's just a
3.
little heavy.
And he got an open draw here. And if he can leave it high enough and kind of cut off
Yeah, just a
the
little
chance
hot.
for red to draw
Come
in,
on.
Absolutely.
it's going to make it difficult for them to get the point. They may end up being able to just cut him to 1 on a steal.
That's a straight side of the sheet. My out turn run straight.
Be fairly impressive, actually. It's a word commonly used to describe Michael Fry. Impressive.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Mr. Fry is a well-known curler here at the Gentleman Curling Club. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, sometimes he brings sushi.
Oh, sushi. Is that really all you can think of about Mr. Fry?
Yeah, that's my primary attachment to him. It has to do with his availability of sushi.
No, I know you're just joking.
Do
Joking,
you,
Mrs.
I mean, do you
Yep.
know that there's any other reason to be friends with somebody? If they can't give you sushi, why should you be friends?
Well, yeah, I don't
You've
know.
never given me
I know
sushi.
A lot of these teams
Wow.
have rotation, but
Case in point. Right
Therefore, we're not friends anymore,
I
apparently?
think so. That's how
probably
that
think it
works.
anywhere.
You're still my friend.
Oh, thank you. It means a
But to
lot.
be fair, I've never bought you sushi.
That's true. That's true. It's been many years, and I
Fair is
still
fair.
haven't received my sushi.
I don't think you've ever asked for sushi.
It's true. It's probably true.
It's tight.
So your co-host on Chip Chat needs
Yeah.
to bring you sushi.
Well, he brings me all kinds of stuff.
But has he brought you sushi?
I don't know. In the past decade and change, yeah, probably.
Only probably.
It's hard for me to remember all of the various
I
things
think you
Larry and
can
I
take
have
it
done
back,
together.
keep it all.
This is a lot of cloudiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yep. All right.
Fry draws a little heavy and leaves more backing for Debbie to give her an open draw to the 8 foot.
Right. Which she needs desperately to.
Hang on for one.
Smidge
Yeah.
less.
So she's taking like relatively tight ice for something where all she's got to do is touch the 4. I would have gone much further out and just like get to the 4.
Her stones
they're not
haven't
in
been
the
curling
forefoot.
as much as he expects it to.
So that's why she's tighter.
Little
just a
tighter
little.
ice, yep.
Oh, last weight. Did you get a time on that last one? Okay.
Debbie believes
didn't
that,
curl much, so it
that rocks know what time
didn't
it
take the
is,
weight off.
which is how she figures
I
that
know.
draw to the 1. I don't know if she knows that, but the rocks are inanimate. They can't tell.
For those of you who are interested, what they're actually talking about is when the thrower throws, the 2 sweepers will actually time how long it takes to get from the back line to the hog line. And that will give them a fair approximation of where the rock is going to wind up.
Well,
Except that frequently they're wrong, and you'll hear sweepers walking back.
Oh, that thing is moving.
That thing is curling a lot. That tight ice
Just rubbed.
almost came back to bite her, and it did. It did.
Well, the good news is she held Mr. Fry to 1.
That's true.
The bad news is she didn't take 1.
He stole 1, yeah.
So nice pair will now trail 3-0. They retain the hammer. Michael Fry's got to be very happy with the start to this game.
Yeah, I can imagine, judging by his reaction, he's elated. If you can see Fry on the screen when you get a chance, that's his excited face.
Looks a lot like his normal face.
Yes, it's very, but it's very obvious.
I kind of think like that rock, the 8 rock, curled my last one too. Remember that?
I mean,
hit?
if you can't tell them apart,
curl?
there's something wrong.
So I think just give Laura. I don't mind the first rock. Okay. So just have Laura the 8. Yeah.
So, as is sort of strategy tradition, I guess, we're going with the center guard. It seems to have been working for him.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Why deviate?
Guard.
Debbie, needing 2, will throw up a corner guard.
Right, so what you have to know about that strategy-wise is about getting more of her rocks in play and more places to hide, essentially, rather than trying to just eliminate, fight your way down.
No, well, it looks like a lot.
It does look like a bit more after specifically you could hear her
We have room to get around
chatting
it.
with her vice saying, tell her to throw a little more.
Hey, shot, Laura.
So Red's got their corner guard. And it looks like Yellow is going to try to just get through there and maybe draw underneath their first guard. That rock is really curling. It looks like it's going to get back and maybe just tap their guard and sort of roll behind that corner one with enough just biting. That was a good plan F. It's like plan B, but, you know, F.
Where are we at? Yes, wait.
So if you're watching and you see the chat, it looks like TJ has just reminded everybody that it's not necessarily the ice that's causing all of this funky bit, but that the rocks themselves were recently serviced.
That's fine.
And there are more jokes about servicing stones
They're good.
at this particular
Fine.
Bombspiel than I can make without Dobbs hitting me.
The funny thing is, I don't think anybody's
Exactly.
made
We
any
got some
jokes about
corners.
servicing stones.
Yeah, I don't
in
have to even
Bombspiel.
say it. It's just sort of like,
I don't know. I don't see it.
you don't see the joke?
Not immediately obvious.
It seems pretty obvious to me. I don't know. We should ask the participants if they've ever serviced any stones.
You apparently make a difference doing this. Sorry. Not make a difference doing it. Make a living doing it.
What, servicing stones? No.
Coming up with bad jokes.
Oh.
And inappropriate jokes.
Not inappropriate.
That's crossing the line, though.
It's borderline.
True.
It's like
it's on the line.
It's like a backbiter. You know, it's sort of barely there, but it still counts. Marv Albert would be very proud.
He'd be happy for the publicity.
Yeah. Well, and the tips on how to be a sportscaster. I hear he's making a comeback at that.
Come on, Josh. Quick, Josh. Yeah. Come on, boys. Brandon, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Yes. Come on. Whoa, whoa.
Line's good, Deborah.
In case you needed to know that Brandon should not be afraid of it.
Wait on, Lion.
I'm not totally sure what it is that he needs to be not afraid of, but yeah,
yep,
Brandon, don't be afraid of it.
Tight's good.
All right, so Red's just trying to draw right in,
This side's
but they ended up with a guard.
We're figuring it out.
Hit this one. Hit that one. It's okay.
Looks like Fry's going to try to hit and roll. It's a lot of ice, but that last one just curled a lot, so I guess he figures that this is going to come over.
How's the way? Yes. Yep. Yes. All right, guys.
It's a relatively fast shot. It's like the solid Beaver. Borderline Badger. It worked out for him. It removed the red rock. So yellow's still sitting one with that biter there.
No.
And I think looks like red is trying to call basically the same shot that they threw previously, but maybe with a touch more weight, with the intention to draw underneath the pile there.
Little tight. Yep. Yep. Room. Go ahead.
Sweeping this real hard for line, but it looks like it's kind of heavy.
Make it curl. You can make it curl. Above the tee, though. So, well, need above the tee first. That's a nice shot.
And just to the tee line. Good shot, Red. Still looks like it's hittable. So Fry's calling like a tee-line hit. You throw like a heavy draw at it. That looks like a little more than a heavy draw. But it's got a little room, plenty of room actually to come back. It needs to come back. It's got a lot of room. It is not moving. It is not moving. It looks like they're going to flash right through. It did not move.
12 foot 8 foot's good.
Back line.
All right, so Red's going to get another look at this, see if they can sort of add to their one and throw it in there. Or worst case scenario, end up light and block up that hole.
Wait on, let it curl a bit. Okay, well, here's okay too, though.
Yep.
Yep, no, you can. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Calling for the sweep based on the line.
Whoa,
The sweepers,
whoa. Guard's fine. That's
sweepers thought it needed it for weight, but like I said, you could
Oh, it's
screw
fine.
up and leave a guard there, and that still actually works out really well. Now that red rock is very, very covered up, which means the removal process begins. Or the draw. Looks like yellow's going to try to draw underneath. That is overcurled. Run that guard that red just threw. Yes, Red's got 2 now and very well covered up. That was an unlucky miss. All right, so Red's going to try to draw through that hole. A lot of focus on trying to get it in the hole.
Close. Yep. Yes, for
Oh, she's
line.
calling him on. And
Hard.
she thinks
Hard,
it's
guys,
taking
yep.
off. That thing is curling.
Hard. Yep.
It looks like it.
Hard, guys.
Might just get around that
Okay,
guard.
whoa. Whoa.
No,
Yep.
it's going to tick it.
Yep.
Okay, whoa.
Yep. Hard.
Well, it's still actually sort of bounced to it roughly where you might have wanted that rock in the first place, of blocking up that outside chance to draw in. So now Red's 2 look really secure.
Honestly, I think these rocks. Because I think these rocks are weird. So I think Laura should play my 8 and your last one, which would have been 6, right? So I think those are more paired up. It just seems like some rocks are straight. Like I know this path over here is straight, but like you threw that good, I just curled a ton more. So I think Laura will play 8 and 6, 8. I'll try to get these paired up.
So if you can hear that, they're discussing changing which rocks
Clearly it's not
they
us.
throw,
Clearly it's not us.
which they can do.
It's totally the rocks.
And they're blaming the rocks for their own misfortune rather than taking responsibility. They just said it
I'll say
themselves,
that.
so yeah.
To be fair, some of the people on these teams have played enough to actually notice.
Right, but they just said that it certainly isn't us, it's got to be the rocks.
a lot better
And
than
I
the
think
last
that that's, you know,
If I were to say that, I would be saying complete bullshit.
yeah.
You know, if Tippy McCormick and Britt are saying that, they might know what they're talking about.
Oh, okay. You heard it here. Dobbs does not know what he's talking about.
We're so pure.
Only in blaming the rocks.
Oh, okay. That's a caveat.
God, why can't everyone be like us?
If you've ever lost to Dobbs in a game, you know he definitely doesn't know what he's talking about.
We got it more figured out now.
But he's got a horseshoe up his butt, so he's a very lucky guy. Dobbs is the luckiest person I've ever met in my life. Oh, man, Fry. That just curled and curled and curled. There was nothing they could do about it. Now they're looking for plan F.
I don't mind
And
that
met
tap.
with-
It's a little hard, but.
Not much success. I think the smart play here is to throw junk to the front, right?
Back line, probably.
It is extremely same way. Just draw to it. Yeah.
Hey, back line.
Wait only.
Back 12.
Yep, can't be short. For sure. Yep, can't be short. Looking good. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, looking good. Yep.
So they're going to throw
Yep.
back-ish at it. I think they're trying to play a tap here. Tap their guard that is blocking that hole through the hole, and then be sitting 3 with protection. It just goes to show that if you offer protection, immediately they'll find a way to stick it through the hole. That curled way more than they expected, and it's a little past the nose, but it took a lucky bounce, and now they are sitting 3.
It's sweeping. It's sweeping.
That took a really lucky bounce. Dobbs was out there with his
I was
horse.
thinking a little more ice too.
Helping him out.
I think I kind of. Yeah.
Well, I'm not exactly sure where the horseshoe is, but I can't see it. I just know
Right.
for sure how lucky he got.
Yeah.
Let it curl here once it starts to
Oh, I see the horseshoe.
Right.
It was not in his butt.
Shizzle.
Yep. Yep, that's hard.
All right,
Like,
so
not happy with myself.
Fry is trying to figure out how to salvage this, to see if he can sneak one in or cut him. So Team Fry, not totally sure if this is the right play or not.
I was thinking we might still be. Do you think we'd still be 1 and 2? I just hope they don't. I hope they don't make the double. Is what I'm hoping.
What does he just knows? Man. And what does she do?
They're now having some conversation all the way across the ice. Fry saying, "Trust me, I know what color my hair is," or something. I don't know. He pointed at his head.
Right?
I'm not sure how that's
Well played,
relevant, but
triple Lindy.
he is winning, so I guess he knows what he's doing.
I play a spinner out there and just try to get it in.
Yeah.